This is the third part of liberalization, privatization and globalization, chapter 16, standard print. Sustainable development. Now, according to the definition of sustainable development is the development which meets the need of present generation without compromising with the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. Now, with this, we understand what we need to do is we are supposed to save the environment, save all the things, that is the natural resources and all the resources, so that the future generation, they will have everything what they need. Now, what has happened or why we are doing this is because previously, or rather you can say when the industrial revolution and everything started, and when we started coming to know and started utilizing the natural resources what we had, like mineral oil and all the other things, we started using it to the extreme. And then we came to know that the natural resource what we have is a limited. At that time we did not know that it was limited. We thought that we have a lot of things, but later on, because of the development of scientific inventions and the other thing, we started coming to know that we do not have unlimited resources. We have limited resources. And therefore, we need to preserve it. If we don't preserve it, then the future generation will not get it. So the idea of sustainable development developed because of extreme effects of near nature, near human habitation and man-created cover, that is environment. So what we did, we started using it to the extreme, as I said, and because of that the environment had a bad effect also. We all know about global warming and the other things, the hole in the ozone layer and the other things. So we needed to save the environment also. The way and the speed with which present generation is developing, it cannot be maintained for the future. So the way we are utilizing all the natural resources, the way we are doing it, it was being said that we will not be able to save it for the future generation. So this is what we need to do about the development, that is sustainable development. There is a fear that luxury which present generation is enjoying may not be there for future generation. There is an extreme decrease in natural resource due to economic development, and their quality is also deteriorating. In this condition, there is a need to change the idea of development. Idea of sustainable development is studied because of present development and effects of it on environment. Now, this basically what we are doing. We all know the way we are living right now is we need everything. We want everything. We know we need all the luxuries. We want everything, right? But the way we are using, the way we are enjoying this thing, we know, and the population, the population of the world, rather the world as well as we talk about our country also, it's constantly increasing. It is nearly about 130 crore and it is increasing. Every year, nearly about 2 crore is been added to it. So, when the population is increasing, the demand is going to increase. The way the demand is increasing, and we are trying to, what you call as, give everybody everything they need. So, what is going to happen? The future generation is not going to enjoy what we are enjoying right now. And that is why the natural resource is decreasing. The quality is also decreasing. Now, what we are seeing is the environment. You might have heard about Delhi. The way the Delhi is, specifically you talk about the atmosphere over there, the climatic conditions over there. they are not able to breathe properly, or they do not have more oxygen over there, because there are so many vehicles and everything over there. The air is more polluted over there than most of the other cities in India. So what it is doing, it is deteriorating the quality of the environment also. Now, because of this condition, there is a need to change the idea of development. The way we are developing our countries, the way we are doing things, we need to change it. We need to change it in such a way that we save the environment right now, so that the future generation is able to use it. So idea of sustainable development is studied because of present development and effects of it on environment. So we need to know, okay, what if it affects the environment when we are utilizing it. So the following strategy should be adopted for conservation and preservation of natural resources. The first, the new able natural resources like cultivable farm, forest, water resources, etc. should be used in such a way that their quality is maintained. So this natural resource, or rather you can say renewable resources we can renew it. We are supposed to use it in such a way that their quality is maintained. Right? The factories which are being made near the rivers, what they do, they flow their effluents into the water, right? The chemicals and the other thing, and they pollute them. So it is our responsibility, human responsibility, as well as the company's responsibility, the government responsibility, that make such laws which can protect the water and the other, like the forest and the other things also. Non-renewable resources like coal, petroleum, mineral should be used judiciously. We should use only when it is needed, or we should make many alternatives for this also, so that these resources are used less and we are not dependent on these resources. Industrial location should be decided on this basis of lesser transportation costs. Now, if a factory is too far and the city is too far, they both are away from each other, so what happens is we need to transport them to the city, and the transportation cost is more. Now, rather the cost, what is more important to us is the resource what is being used on that. So we see that if it is very far away, it consumes more resources than the other. So that is why what we need to do, okay, if they are nearer, so the transportation costs go down. A sincere attempt should be made to achieve eco-friendly development. Now, I don't know if you all know, it is such that the government has started making up things that if big factories, they should have these eco-friendly machineries and the other things, they what you call as the scrubbers, the way they should recycle the water, the chemicals, they should remove the chemicals, and then they are actually supposed to remove the water from their factories. So these are the things what it has to be done, the eco-friendly development. We have to save the environment because we are living in this particular environment. Those resources which can be used in more than one way should be utilized in different ways. Now there are so many different things that it can be used in different ways also. So we are supposed to use it in different ways, try to save it also, such as different irrigation system are utilized for more than one purpose, producing electricity, flood control, transportation, etc. Natural resource should not be wasted. We should not waste them. We are supposed to preserve them, as the sustainable development says. Why? So that the future generation can utilize it. By wasting it, we are not going to gain anything. Control should be laid on unplanned disposal of industrial waste, poisonous chemical, increasing slums. As I said, so we are supposed to control these kind of disposals. the way the companies are disposing of their chemicals and the other waste materials, which ruins the environment, pollutes the environment. Stress should be laid on use of non-conventional energy resources such as solar and wind energy. Try to use these kind of things rather than using what you call as the other conventional resources or non-renewable resources, because that creates problem for us also. Steps taken to protect environment. Now there are certain steps which have been taken not only by the country but by the world altogether. For the first time, Earth Conference was organized in 1972 at Stockholm in Sweden. So this was the time actually they realized that the Earth, or the place on Earth, the environment is deteriorating. They came to know that the way we are utilizing the natural resources and specifically the mineral resources, it is ruining the environment and there are problems being created by that. So the Earth Conference was held specifically for the protection of environment. Thereafter, from time to time, conventions and camps have been organized for protection of environment at the global level. So not only in our country but in all the countries of the world, they have started making all these kind of different types of camps. Camps is basically to create awareness among the people and among the what you call as the governments and everything, to take certain steps, in which it was decided to take different steps for environmental protection. India is also involved in these global effects. India is, very active in all these kind of things also, where it is related with the what you call as resources, or you call it as the environment. The government is also making different efforts at national level also. It's trying to make different types of rules and regulations so that the people follow it properly. Like the information about pollution condition of different cities of nation is presented. So nowadays, if you see the news channels and the other thing, and many cities, they have big signboards also in the very peak time and the particular area which is more populated, and so that they can come to know, okay, what is the exact pollution condition of that city. It tells them, okay, what is the oxygen level, what is the what you call as pollution level, and so on. Central and state pollution control board have been established to control pollution. 5th June has been declared as Environment Day in the world. In India, government has passed Air Pollution Control Act in 1981. International agreements have been signed for deteriorating level of ozone, disposal of nuclear waste, and ice of biodiversity. Now, over here, if we see, this is the Pollution Control Act, what the government has did, so that they keep pressure on the big companies and the other things, so that they don't dispose of their effluent waste in the water or in the environment, which degrades the environment. International agreements have been done so that we can save the ozone also. As I said before, there is a hole, we all know about it, okay, because of chlorofluorocarbon, there is a hole in the ozone layer which is not good for us, and this ozone layer is actually which is helping us, or which is helping us to survive from the ultraviolet rays from the sun. So we need to save this also. So the countries, that is internationally, everybody has agreed that the disposal of the nuclear waste and the other biodiversities should be done in such a way that it does not create problem to the ozone layer. Thus, the environment, thus conservation of environment is everybody's responsibility. If we do not control pollution, no doubt the life on the earth will be doomed soon. So Right now it is our duty, everybody's duty, not only one person or the government's duty, but it is every single person's duty and responsibility to see that we control pollution and we see that everything is in proper state. Because if we don't do right now, then one day it will be such that the earth will be doomed. We won't find anybody on the earth and everything will perish.